If it was so toxic, why do I feel this sad after leaving? Why do I miss parts of it? And why do I keep thinking about going back? Hello and welcome back to Poison Break, Toxic Tales at Work. Have you ever left a job, not because of the work itself, not because of the company, maybe parts of it, but mainly because of one person? And have you ever had this confusing feeling of missing that specific place? Might be the people, the mission, or the version of yourself you were or could have been in that place. At the same time, you know you were hurt there. Still, you find yourself thinking, maybe I should have stayed, or maybe it wasn't even that bad, and maybe I gave up something good because of something temporary. Today's episode is about that very specific, very confusing feeling. It's a mix of regret, grief, and even anger after leaving, or being forced to leave a toxic workplace that wasn't entirely bad. I've been through this myself. And in my case, I didn't even fully choose to leave. I was let go, which added another layer. Not just sadness, but also anger and frustration. Because the truth is, I did not hate the job. I believed in what we were doing. I liked a lot of the people. It was something very new and exciting for me. The environment. There were moments where I felt extremely motivated, connected, and even proud. But there were also dynamics that were incredibly draining and situations that felt extremely unfair and frustrating. Moments where I questioned my worth, my perception, and my place there. And somehow both things were true at the same time. And when it ended, I was not just relieved. I didn't expect to be relieved. I felt frustrated. I felt rejected. And weirdly, I also felt like I had lost something good in a way. I didn't expect that at all. I also hated the fact that other people still had the chance to stay in this workplace and get to experience what it is like without the toxic people we were filing complaints about. And I was, also happy for the people, as I knew they had to be kicked out at some point. And yes, luckily it happened. But it's a weird feeling. I was happy about the justice part in general for myself, also for other people, but also sad that I had to leave that place for that to happen in a way, because I risked a lot. That was super confusing for me. This is something we don't talk about enough as well. You can miss something that hurt you. You can grieve a place that wasn't healthy for you, and you can also feel anger and nostalgia at the same time. And a lot of people think if it was toxic, I should just be happy I'm out, right? That's what I was thinking. But that's not how emotions work. And I can tell you from my personal experience, I remember the day I was let go. I was really shocked. I did not expect what happened at all. It was super, super crazy. On the same day, I remember I went on a walk with my dog and I was paralyzed. I was just sitting on this bench. It was a beautiful day. It was sunny outside and I was just sitting there and thinking, what did just happen? I couldn't really believe it. I was also the following days, I was thinking, why do I feel so weird, so sad? You would expect to feel free, relieved, happy, excited. I mean, obviously you cannot be the happiest person alive after such a traumatic experience, but you would at least expect to feel free and relieved, like I said, but that's not what happens. It's especially when the situation was in black and white, there are actually a few psychological patterns behind this that can help make sense of it. I also talk about some of these in my episode, Why You Stay in a Toxic Job. When something is, sometimes good and sometimes painful, it actually becomes more emotionally intense. It's the same mechanism that makes certain relationships hard to leave. Your brain holds on the highs and keeps hoping they will come back. And this is the emotional contrast and intermittent reinforcement. This is what I've been talking about in one of my episodes. There's also selective memory. After you leave, your mind often filters the experience. You start remembering the good conversations, the shared laughs, the meaningful moments, and the daily stress fades into the background. You also think about what could have been, And there's also a certain loss of identity. Work isn't just what we do, it's who we are, at least partly. And when you leave, especially involuntarily, you're not just losing a job, you are losing a version of yourself that existed in that environment and that also could have existed in the future. There is definitely a lack of closure. If things ended unfairly, abruptly, or without resolution, your brain keeps trying to finish the story. That's where thoughts like, maybe I could have done something differently, keep coming back. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I know that this also happened to me. I definitely remember thinking that. Just about the what could have been. If, I stayed and then those toxic people would have been fired, then, it could have been amazing. And then there's also anger. The anger of just, not just leaving, but being pushed out, and the anger of feeling misunderstood, treated unfairly, or replaced too easily. This is big. That anger can also get mixed with doubt, because parts of you think, if it was so bad, why does it hurt so much? It doesn't really make sense to you. But anger doesn't mean you should have stayed. It often means a boundary was crossed, and it makes you feel extremely frustrated. That is what it is at the end of the day. It's really hard to deal with it, and I know that. One thing that helped me personally is just to stop asking, was the job good or bad? You don't need to rate it. Start asking, was it sustainable for me? Because something can be meaningful, exciting, even full of great people, and still not be a place where you can stay healthy long term. Both can be true. So if you are dealing with this right now, here are a few things that can help. Write down the full reality, not just the good parts you miss, but also the moments, or especially the moments that made you feel small, anxious, or exhausted. And I can imagine, or I assume there are more of those moments than the good ones if you have been in a toxic workplace. Balance your memory, very important. Separate the job from the environment as well. Maybe you didn't lose your passion. Maybe you just lost a context that made it hard to live the passion safely. And allow mixed emotions. You don't have to pick a side. You can feel grief, anger, relief, and nostalgia all at once, like I said before. And be careful with idealizing the past. If you're constantly thinking, it was actually great, ask yourself, would I feel at peace going back exactly as it was? I guess you would not. And this is also, like, you might have experienced this in other situations, maybe in relationships as well in the past. We human beings, we really tend to idealize the past. It's a way of, I think your brain is just protecting you. It's actually also a delusion, and you just need to face the truth. And sometimes it's easier for you to just really consciously try to bring back the bad memories, write them down, and then you realize, oh my God, I'm actually so glad I'm out. I don't even want to experience that anymore. But I know it will take some time to make sense. And I've experienced that. So this is why I'm telling you, it will take some time to make sense for you. Redirect what you valued. What did you love there? The mission, the creativity, or the collaboration? What was it exactly? And those things, remember that, those things are not gone. They can exist in a healthier environment too. At the end of the day, you will also learn a lot from that experience, as stupid as it might sound for you in that moment. You will take away so much from this, and you will gain so much strength, and you will be able to see things for what they are, toxic bosses, colleagues, and workplaces, dynamics, patterns. You will be able to recognize them way sooner, and this will save you in the future, and you will be able to help other people as well. And it will make you stronger, like I said. Just keep that in mind. What I also want to mention is sometimes it feels extremely frustrating to know that the bad, toxic people, who are probably the reason you left or have been let go, are still in the company. I know this can be so hard to accept, but at the end of the day, they have not won. You have, because you no longer have to deal with their BS. And they will get what they deserve at some point. Trust in that and try to let go. You will feel better, I can promise that. And even if you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel yet, it will come, and you will feel the freedom that comes with it. At some point, you will 100% trust in that. Just know that you're also not alone with that. And this is something so many people experience, and it's extremely frustrating. Feeling sad and regret after leaving a toxic workplace or being let go, like what? You would just not expect that, But it happens to so many people, and it's a normal mechanism. I didn't understand it either, but it happens to so many people. Just know that you are not alone. Leaving or being forced to leave something that was almost right can be harder than leaving something that was clearly wrong. Because almost creates attachment. This is also important to know. But your well-being doesn't need a perfect justification. I think this is also something you really need to keep in mind. Your well-being doesn't need a perfect justification. If something consistently made you feel off, small, or unsafe, that is already enough, even if there was also light. So if you're missing it, that doesn't mean you made the wrong decision. It just means it mattered to you, and that's okay. So if you want to share your personal story with me, feel free to do that. I would love to hear your story. I hope I will see you in the next episode. I hope I could help with this episode, and we will go into so much more in the upcoming episodes. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next one, hopefully. Stay strong, stay sane. Bye-bye.